Okay, Assalamualaikum. So hari ni kita akan sambung untuk topik 11, topik terakhir, lecture 1. Okay, lecture 1 ni yang paling basic sekali lah. Saya akan buat yang ni dulu and then kita akan sambung hari Rabu nanti dengan lecture 2. So tolong fahamkan lecture 1 sebelum kita masuk lecture 2. Okay, so lecture 1 for topic 11 it's the index number. So index number ni you guys dah pernah belajar, kalau untuk dalam matematik moden pun ada. Okay, cumanya kita akan ada penambahan lagi lah information. Okay, so for this topic we have 3 subtopic, which is the first one is index number, the second one is the unweighted index number, and lastly for 11.3 we have weighted index number, benda baru you belajar. So this weighted index number we will discuss in topic in lecture 2. Okay, in lecture 2 on this Wednesday. Okay, so lecture 1 of 2. So what are the learning outcomes? So at the end of the lesson, students should be able to, for 11.1a, we need to identify the concept of index number as a measurement of change. And then for B, to identify the type of index number, which is price and quantity index. So we are focusing on 2 types of index, price and quantity. And then for 11.2, so we have to identify the concept of unweighted index number and find, also interpret the unweighted index number. So how many unweighted index number we will learn later. Okay, so for the unweighted index number, we have simple relative price and quantity index, indices lah. For the first one is simple relative price index. The second one is simple relative quantity index. And then for number 2, simple aggregate price and quantity index. Simple aggregate price and quantity indices. And the third one is simple relative average. So simple relative average for price and quantity indices. So how many types of unweighted index? So we have 6 types. Okay. Now, set induction. So base year. So base year is a year that its value is used as a base for comparison with the current year. Means that this base year will be 100%. So what is the comparison with the current year? Okay, to compare the price, quantity or income in a specific duration of time is important in the field of business or production. So by using this comparison, business organization can determine or compare all the values needed in order to increase their current profit. So if you do business, of course, we want to increase our current profit. So we might increase all over the year, or we might be decreasing profit. So we need to check, to always check, to compare. Okay, so increase the margin, profit margin in comparison to previous year lah. So statistical method used to measure the changes in quantity, average price and performance, or other values in a specific duration of time is known as index number. So usually we use a year lah in comparison. The duration of time will be the year. Okay, so index number. Why use an index number? At some time, everyone faces the question of how much something has changed over a period of time. So this the administration will do this lah. We need to take over our performance of our production and the profit lah. So we can keep continue with the business, right? So we may not want to know how much the price of grocery has increased. So this one for orang-orang macam kita biasa-biasa ni, so we want to know how much the price of groceries has increased, so we can adjust our budget accordingly. Or maybe the raw item we use for our business, so we want to adjust our budget lah, and then adjust the price for the item we want to sell. And then a factory manager may wish to compare this month's per unit production cost with that of the past 6 months. So we might increase in cost, right? So we are increasing the cost, but the profit is not increased. So why? So we need to compare. And then a medical research team may wish to compare the number of flu cases reported this year with the number reported in previous years. So this is in the medical field. So they are using statistic to find out the pattern, to find out what happening in the country and how to fight the what happened. So usually these cases, the recent cases is about COVID, right? So that we will do the comparison. So we have the R0, everything, right? So it's related to index number. So in each of this situation, the degree of change need to be determined and defined. We use index number to measure such differences. Okay, degree of change. So that is the keyword. So index number also, the definition is statistic measurement used to measure the change of variable toward price, quantity or income in specific time in order to make a comparison. Okay, it's a statistic measurement. Okay, to measure the changes lah. Index number can be summarized as the ratio of the current value to the base value and stated in a form of percentage. It's just compare what is the recent and what is the base value. So it's a ratio. So we are dividing. That's the formula. The basic formula is divide with the base. Okay, and then we perform in the percentage method, which is we multiply with 100. Sorry. Okay, and the base year chosen in the one which is not too far from the other years whose value are to be compared. Okay, sorry, let me take a break. I need to check the. Okay, so next, types of indices. Okay, types of indices. There are two common types of indices. So which is we have a price index and quantity index. So price, of course, we want to compare the price changes between two different times, and quantity to compare the production. Quantity comparison or production at two different times. So three factors that affect the choice of index used are the number of items. So how many items we use to compare, and then base year and also the weight. So weights are figures which indicates relative importance of each item under study. So the weight might be price or quantity or volume or percentage is the common example of weight lah. So unweighted index number. So unweighted index number. Unweighted means that all the values considered in the calculating the index are equal importance. So we are not giving some of the weight as the priority. So we just assume everything is equally important. Okay, so the three unweighted index number. So this is our second subtopic, which is we are going to focus on these three types of unweighted index number for each of the price and quantity. So we have simple relative index, simple aggregate index, and the last one is simple relative average index. Okay, so how to find each of these three index? So simple relative index, so we just directly compare for the price, we directly compare the price at current year with the price at base year. So the ratio between P1 and P0, and then multiply by 100. So that is the index lah. For example, sale price for terrace house at the city from year 2010 to year 2013 are as follows. So we have the price of each year, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. Now, by taking 2010 as base year, so this base year information is important. So 2010 value will always be the P0. Okay, calculate and explain the simple relative price index for the terrace house from year 2010 to 2013. So we can find out the index for each of the year by taking 2010 as the base year. So how to calculate? Find the index. Let's say to find index for 2010. Okay, so for 2010, so we can take the P1 in 2010, 100,000 divided by the P0, which is also in 2010, multiplied by 100. So what will be the answer? So if the base year and the current year is the same, so it will be 100%. So 100. But for year 2011, our P1 will be the price of 120,000. So the price for 2011 will be 120,000 divided by the base year, which is 100,000. Okay, so 100,000. So divide, so and then multiply by 100, we get 120, the index. Okay, for 2012, so we compare also with the 2010. So it will be 140000 divided by 100,000, which is equal to 140. Multiply 100 because it's in percentage. Okay, and then lastly for 2013, what is the price for 2013? It 170,000 and divide with the base year, which is 100,000. So multiply by 100, so we get 170. So what we can interpret by this value? Okay, for each year, so we need to write down what is the conclusion. So for the 2011, it will be increasing by 20%. For 2012, it increased by 40%. Not will be, it increased already. And then for 2013, it increased by 170% compared to the base year, which is 2010. Okay, so we need to do the explanation. So price for the terrace house increased by 20% in 2011, 40% in 2012, 70% in 2013 as a comparison to 2010. So you need to do the conclusion by putting the base at the end of the sentence. Okay, this is for the simple relative index. Okay, for now, the table below show the price and the price relative of commodity from 2010 to 2013. Okay, if we look at the table, we have a year and the price for each of the year with some unknown A and B. And also we have the price relative. So this is the index lah. Index in each of year with the base of 2020 to 2010. And then the third row here is the price relative with the base of 2011. So we have some unknowns C, D, E, F here. So we need to find out everything A, B, C, D, E, F. So how to find the value of A, B, C, D, E, F? So we need to use the index formula, the price index formula. Simple relative price index formula. Okay, so first of all, for value of A, what is A? A is the price for 2011. So what we have information for the 2011, we have the price relative with the 2010 and also price relative with 2011. But because 2011 and 2011, the price relative will be 100, so we cannot know what is the value of A. This A can be anything. This is in the form of percentage. So what we can do, we use the price relative index in 2010. So what is the base in 2010 kan? So what is the formula? So if the price relative is equal to 80, so the formula will be the value, the price of in 2011 divided with the base price, which is 150 in 2010. And then multiply by 100. So we apply the price index formula lah. Okay, so price index formula. So what is the formula? Is the P1 over P0. So P1 is A, right? So our P1 is A, our P0 in the base of year 2010, it will be 150. So A over 150 multiplied by 100 will be the index, which is, it's given in the table equal to 80. So 80 is equal to A over 150 multiplied by 100. So A is equal to 120. So now we have find the value of A. Okay, now for the next value of B. What is B? Okay, we do C first. What is C? C is the index in 2010 base. Okay, based on 2010. So index of what? Of the price of 2012 with the 2010. So C actually the index price lah, which is C equal to 165. The price on 2012 divided by the base year price on 2010 is equal to 150. So multiply by 100, so we get C equal to 110. Sorry. Then the next information we have is B. So what is B? B is the price on 2013. So if we take 2010 as the base, so this value of D is the index. So D is equal to B over the price in 2010, which is equal to 150 multiplied by 100. So now for this one, we cannot solve because we have two unknowns. So we let it as is it first because we might want to find other value. Okay, the next value we want to find is E. Okay, so just keep it like that. We use it again. So for E, so what is E? E is the index, price relative index, simple relative in price index on 2011 as the base. Okay, so if 2011 as the base, what is P1? P1 is 2010. Okay, so P1 is 2010. This is the P1. So the P0 is 2011 because our base is 2011. So divide by the price on 2011, which is 120, multiply by 100%, which is equal to 125. So we didn't put the percent. You just ignore the percent notation. So we have E equal to 125. Now to find F. So what is F? F is the index with the base of 2011 for 2012. Okay, so F is equal to P1 over P0. So P1 is the price on the current year, which is 165, divided by P0, which is the price on 2011. The base year is 2011. So 165 over 120 multiplied by 100, which is equal to, calculate it, we get 137.5. So now we have the value for F. How about B and D? So B and 175. Here, we compare with the price relative in the 2011 as the base. So B is the price which is P1 because we want to find with the base year 2011. So the P1 here is the B, right? And then what is the P0? Because the base is 2011, P0 is 120. So B over 120 multiplied by 100 will be the price relative index in 2011, which is 175. So 175 is equivalent to B over 120 multiplied by 100. So B is equal to, so we get the answer B equal to 210. So if we know the B already, we can find out what is D by using the equation number 1 earlier. So which is D equal to B over 150. Right? So D over price 210, which is the price on 2013, divide with the B divide by 150 multiplied by 100. Because we find out the B already, we can find out the D. So D is equal to 140. So we have the index, all the value for A, B, C, A, D, E, F. So done. We are done now. Okay. So now, the next one. Simple relative index, but it's for the quantity index. Okay, earlier we learned about the price index. Now we learn about the quantity. So for this first type of index, simple relative, we learn separately for price and quantity. Later, for the simple aggregate and simple relative average index, average relative, we use it the same. We use it will be the same. Everything will be the same. The formula, we just have to use the formula either for price or for the quantity. Okay, so for simple relative quantity index, okay, it's still the relative one. So we represent it as Q1 over Q0. Why Q? Because it's quantity. Here earlier it's a price, so we represent it as P. So now it's quantity, so we represent it as Q. So I is equal to Q1 over Q0 equal to multiply by 100. So it's just the same, but with the different symbol Q. So now Q0 is quantity at base year, Q1 is quantity at current year. Okay, So example 3. So let's see, this is for the quantity example. Table below shows the total number of computer sales at a company from 2010 to 2013. So calculate and explain the simple relative quantity index for computer sale in a year 2013 by taking 2010 as base. So we want to find quantity index for 2013. Okay, that is for the first question. The second one is calculate and explain the simple relative quantity index for the year for computer sale in year 2011 by taking 2013 as base. Okay, so we have to make sure we know what is the current year and what is the base year. Okay, so for question A, what is the current year? Is 2013, right? So 2013 will be 1,400. And then the base year is 2010, which is the price will be, the quantity will be 200. Okay, so substitute the value 1400 divided by 200 multiplied by 100, it will be 700. Wow, the quantity we need to explain. So what we can say, it will be it increased by how many? So if it's 100, so there is no increase, no decrease. But if 700 means that it will increase, it increased by 600%. Okay, the interpretation here to explain this index number, it means that the total sale of computers increased 600% in year 2013 as a comparison to year 2010, sorry. Okay, so you have to explain like this lah. So it's depend what type of situation. Okay, here is talking about total sales because it's quantity, right? It's total sales of computer. Okay, now for question B, we want to calculate and explain, right? Calculate and explain the simple relative quantity index for computer set in year 2011 by taking 2013 as base. So 2011 is the current year, so the quantity will be 450, right? Q1. And then the Q0, the base year is 2013, which is 1040. Okay, so 1040 will be Q0. So substitute the value, we have 450 over 1400 multiplied by 100. So it will be 32.14. So from 100, it's going down to 32.14. So how many decrease is it? So we need to calculate the decrease of it. Okay, so we can say that the decrease here is 67.86. Just 100 minus 32.14, we have 60.86% decrease. So it means that the total sales of computer in year 2011 was 60.87% less than the sale in the year of 2013. Tak kisahlah walaupun kita cakap base dia tu tahun ke depan, we still need to do this conclusion explanation. Okay? Okay. So hopefully you guys understand how to explain the index lah. You have to compare the current and the base year. So increase how many, decrease how many. That's all. So now the second type of index, which is the simple aggregate index. So what it means by simple aggregate, so we have price index, it will be summation of P1 over summation of P0 multiplied by 100. So now it's not one by one, but we total all the price at current year. It's not only one item, it might be more than one item. Okay, and then P0 is the total price at base year. So we total up the price, all the items at the base year. Okay, so the simple aggregate quantity index, it will be different in the quantity lah. So we use the summation of Q1 divided by summation of Q0 multiplied by 100. Okay, the total quantity at current year and total quantity at base year. So for all items, we find out the total lah. Okay, for simple relative, we have one item only. But for aggregate, we will be more than one item. Okay, now example 4. Price for 3 types of food A, B, and C are as follows. So we have the price of the food not only one type of food, so three types of food here. So we have the price on 2010 and 2019. So take note here, it say that 2010 is 100, means that this is our base year. Base is on 2010. Calculate the simple aggregate price index for the three types of food in year 2019. Give explanation for your answer. So simple aggregate means that we have to find out the total lah. So use the total summation of P1 over summation of P0 multiplied by 100. So P1 is the 2010, P1 is 2019, P0 is 2010 because it's talking about 2010 is the base year. So substitute all the value for the summation of P1, 7 plus 1.5 plus 7.5 divided by the total of P0, which is 5 plus 3 plus 7.5 and multiply by 100. So we have 103.23. So how to explain? It increased by 3.23%. So therefore, the total price of these three types of food in 2019 has increased 3.23% as a comparison to year 2010. Okay, so that's for the simple aggregate price index. Now, example 5, we calculate and interpret the simple aggregate quantity index for year 2019 for three types of printer X, Y, and Z by taking 2018 as base. So this is Q0, this is Q1. Okay, what we want to find will be the current year. So the total for Q1, we get 800 plus 860 plus 1,200 divided by the Q0, total Q0, which is equal to 200 plus 450 plus 750 multiplied by 100. Okay, so just total up in 2019 divided by total up in 2018. So we have the answer equal to 204.29%. So what is the increase? To explain it, it increased by 104.29%. So quantity index show to 04.29, show that the sale quantity for year 2019 increased 104.29% as a comparison to 2018. Okay, so we need to put the increase by, decrease by, and so on. Okay, so just minus 100 for the value we have. Example 6. Now we have combination with price and quantity. So the following table show the price and quantity sold for 5 brands of t-shirt at a supermarket. So we have 5 type of t-shirt with the price on 2017 and 2019. Also the quantity on 2017 and 2019. Now we take 2017 as base. It's given as 2017 as base. So this is P0, this is P1, this is P0, Q0, sorry. It's quantity, so it's Q0 and in 2017 and Q1 in 2019. Okay, because it's talking as 2017 as base. Simple aggregate price index. Now for price index, we use the P lah. So simple aggregate price index. So I is equal to total P1, which is 130 plus 111 plus 35 plus 36 plus 134. Divide the P with the summation of P0 in 2017 is 116 plus 99 plus 25 plus 26 plus 112 and multiply by 100. So we have the answer 117.99. So now you just have to calculate that. They did ask for the explanation. Now for question B, they ask you to find the simple aggregate quantity index for the t-shirt in year 2019. Okay, so simple aggregate quantity. So we have Q0 in 2017 and Q1 in 2019. So it will be summation in 2019. The I is 80.8 plus 38.2 plus 60.4 plus 80.2 plus 48.4. That is total Q1 and divide by total Q0, which is equal to 50.4 plus 25.1 plus 40.5 plus 48.8 plus 32.2. And then multiply by 100. So we have the answer equal to 156.35. If they ask you for the explanation, we can say that there is an increase of 56.35% of quantity of the t-shirt in 2019 in compare on the 2017. Okay, so now simple aggregate relative index. Okay, simple average relative, not relative but average relative. So for relative, we find out for one item, right? So for average, we need to find out for every item. That's why we have average. Simple average relative index is used in finding the index for a group of item. Basically used for the similar types of item. So the keywords here is group of item. So what is the formula? For price, it will be I equal to 1 over K multiplied by summation of P1 over P naught. So we have the ratio for each item multiplied by 100 and then total up lah. Price, the ratio between each item, and then we total up the summation and then we multiply with 1 over K. K is the number of component or items lah. Okay. For the relative quantity index pula sama je. But the difference is we use Q1 over Q naught. Summation of Q1 over Q naught multiplied by 1 over K. So we have to find the ratio for each of item and total up and divide by K, number of item lah. So now for example 7. So calculate the simple average relative price index for the food in year 2019 taking base on year 2010. Interpret your answer. So now they ask you for average relative. So we need to find the ratio for each item and total up. Okay, so now the formula is 1 over K multiplied by summation of P1 over P naught multiplied by 100. So our P1 is in 2019 because the base is in 2010. So the ratio for each of the item, so we have P1 over P naught. So we have 7 over 5 plus with 1.5 over 3 plus with 7.5 over 7.5. Okay, notice that we have the ratio for each of the item. Food A, food B, food C, we total up is the summation of everything and divide by 3. So multiply by 1 over K means that we divide with 3 items because we have 3 items here. So multiply by 100, we get the answer equal to 96.67. Okay, so now to interpret. So what is the decrease? Because it's less than 100, so it will be decreased lah. So 96.67 minus 100 will be negative, right? So negative number, it will be decreased. Decrease for how many? 3.33%. Okay, so to interpret, it means that on the average, the keyword here is average because we have average relative. The price for these 3 types of food decreased by 3.33% in year 2013 as a comparison to 2010. As a comparison to 2010, that must be stated in your statement. Now, example 8. So, calculate the simple average relative quantity. Simple average relative. So, we use the formula, the third formula, the same as the simple average relative price. But we use quantity for the 3 type of printer for year 2017 by considering 2015 as base. So this is Q1, this is Q0. Give the explanation for your answer. So use the simple average relative. It will be 1 over K multiplied by summation of Q1 over Q0 multiplied by 100. So how many items we have? We have 3 items. So it will be 1 over 3 lah. So 1 over 3 multiplied by Q1 over Q0 for each item and total up. So in the bracket, it will be 800 over 200 and then 860 over 450 and 1200 divided by 750. So each of our item, we find out the relative index, the ratio, and then we total up. And then we divide with how many item we have. So multiply by 100, so we have 250.37. So how to explain this? So just minus 100, so we have 150.37% increase. So we can explain that it means that on the average, okay, so this is the keyword, on the average, the quantity of the three type of printer increased by 150.37%. Okay, we didn't put 250 because 100% is the base. For year 2015, salah ni. Kita punya compact Q0 is 2015. Sorry ya. So we need to change it 2017 as compared to the base year which is 2015. Okay, so Q1 is 2017. So our current is 2017. What we find out is increase for 2017 as a comparison to the base year which is 2015. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Sorry for the for the error, for the typo error. That is a typo error lah. Okay, so that is the unweighted price index. Also unweighted index number. Okay, so that's the last slide for this lecture. I hope you guys try to understand. So we have only three types of unweighted index. So we have the relative for one item only, and then we have the aggregate. Aggregate is the summation, okay, the total. And then we have the simple relative average, okay, average relative. So this one we have to find the ratio and find the average for all items. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. See you guys on, hopefully you guys has understand this lecture before we continue with lecture 2 on Wednesday. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.